and let's get to some No Mercy predictions. Number one, I'm sure you noticed now we have a camera, so we're going to be able to get more in depth, I guess. That's a thing that happens. Number two, I'm sure you noticed my cohort, the Tryhard, isn't here with me today. He's out of town, but he sent me his No Mercy predictions before he left, so we'll be able to kind of compare, contrast, talk about what we think's going to happen, and we're going to make this into a little competition. Here's the thing, is whoever loses, whoever gets the most decisions wrong out of No Mercy will have to do something. It's going to be kind of a punishment for being so wrong at WWE, something so relevant, something you should be very learned about. I don't know. Anyway, whoever gets the most number of wrongnesses will have to do something. We haven't decided yet. It's going to be funny, though, to see him humiliated like that, because he is not going to win. And I'm going to tell you what real quick. Whoever does win, whoever gets the most decisions correct, will be crowned the 10 count podcast champion. It even spins. Look at that. So this title belt will be placed here just for safekeeping. It's my room, but whatever. So he will be the reigning 10 count podcast champion. So without further ado, that's pretty much all we have for this episode, because it's gonna be a lengthy amount of stuff. We had some other things to talk about, but we might do like a second podcast this week. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, in any case, let's get right down to the card. So the first match before the card, the only match on the pre-show, I think, that has been scheduled ahead of the show, is going to be Elias versus Apollo Crews. And this match was kind of obvious to me, but not to my buddy the Tryhard, apparently. I'm thinking Elias, because they're giving him a push. He's slowly rising up the mid-card. He's getting there. He might get an Intercontinental title shot sometime down the line. I don't really see his momentum slowing down at all, but the Tryhard thinks Apollo Crews, for some reason, is going to pull up the victory. My question to you, Tryhard, is, when was the last time Apollo Crews won a match? When is the last time Apollo Crews has been relevant? I can't think of it. Maybe NXT, but that was a long time ago. So I'm getting with Elias. I'm walking with Elias on this one, strictly because he's getting a push. He's going up to the mid card, and I don't see him stopping at any point soon. So I'm going down the line here of the article that I read for the match card. The next match that is scheduled and should happen first is Neville versus Enzo Amore. And I've seen kind of back and forth with this. A lot of people seem to think that for some weird reason, Enzo's going to walk away the champion. And I'm neither myself nor the Tryhard are one of those people. I don't get why Enzo would walk away as the champion when he has been made to be a joke over the last couple of months, starting with the Enzo and Cass split, then being hung above a shark cage and kind of just being easily defeated by everyone involved, and just not being very relevant. He's also in the doghouse right now in the WWE. He's booted from the locker room, booted from tour buses. I really don't see him getting the title. I mean, the biggest point these kinds of guys make is it would create some buzz around 205 Live, which, yes, it would, but it wouldn't create a positive buzz. It would create a negative buzz, strictly because Austin Aries, a guy who is world-renowned for his skill and wrestling ability, tried 3 times. I'm not bitter, because I tried saying all 3 times he was going to win. All 3 of them were losing efforts to Neville, the king of the cruiserweights. So I don't see any way in hell Enzo Amore would walk out of No Mercy as the cruiserweight champion. I think it would be a big shot in the foot to go with Enzo as champion for 205 Live. I think that would make the ratings plummet even more, because that championship would then be irrelevant if it's on Enzo. With Neville, he's a fighting champion. He respects the title, and he's going to put on a good match night in and night out. I got to go with Neville. The Tryhard's going with Neville. I think that's a safe bet. So that's pretty much, I can't say 1-1 because the results aren't here yet. No Mercy's tomorrow. Anyway, the next match should be Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. And this feud has been going on far too long and has pretty much nothing going for it. I don't see... I see this feud ending, and I see one person, the person that goes over, I see going into a title picture. Whether it be a world title picture, probably not because Lesnar is holding the title. I'm definitely thinking probably the Intercontinental picture maybe at this point, because both Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt can be amazing Intercontinental champions if given the opportunity, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Another split. I think Finn Balor, strictly because it's obvious. Finn Balor for months has been booked very strongly, not very strongly, but the dominant force in this feud. Whereas Bray Wyatt, as the usual, has been kind of the bottom of this feud. And while I love Bray Wyatt and I hate what's happening to him, this feud has been going on far too long with little to no gel at all. It's not working. They need to end it, and they need to... both of them need to go on to bigger and better things. I've got Finn Balor, as I've said before, because Balor can do the most with a push. The tryhard says Bray Wyatt, and I'm really not sure why. If Bray Wyatt goes over, the feud is pretty much continuing. I don't want to see this feud continue. I don't want any more. They could have done so much with this feud, but they have chosen not to. It is the biggest thing with me, is that there's so much potential here, and there's nothing coming out of it. So I want to see it end. I want to see Finn Balor go over. He thinks Bray Wyatt. He's going to lose. The next match should be The Miz versus Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental Championship. And this one was kind of rough for me. It's the obvious choice is The Miz. The easy choice is The Miz. But I've got to go with Jason Jordan strictly because, again, I'm taking into account his push. The big reveal with Kurt Angle as his dad was meant to push Jason Jordan to new heights, which it kind of has, but the fans haven't received it very well. And I feel like putting the belt on him would kind of solidify his relevancy on Raw, if that makes any sense. If he were to, he came to Raw because he was Kurt Angle's son. He's trying to impress his dad, be the next Kurt Angle. And the next step forward with that is winning a championship. And Jason Jordan has the potential right here in front of him. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Every time I'm recording, or we're recording, I get a phone call. Whatever, I just laid it down. But Jason Jordan should definitely hold the championship. It may be now. It may be later. I think it's going to be now, because now seems like the best time to strike. And that kind of gives Miz a rivalry to go through. So I see nothing but good things happening here. I see kind of the wheels turning between Jason Jordan and The Miz. And it'd be kind of cool for the Miz-Taraj to kind of get some ring time. Once Jason Jordan wins the championship, one-on-one matches with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, kind of giving them a chance to show that they're not irrelevant. I'd really like to see that. I've got Jason Jordan. Tryhard's got The Miz. We'll see who's right on that one, because I can see it going either way. I might be completely wrong. This is WWE we're talking about. The next match should be Ambrose and Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team titles. And this one was kind of difficult as well. Sheamus and Cesaro have been in the title picture for I don't know how long, and it wouldn't make much sense to give them back the belts, because we've seen this over and over and over again. For the last, let's see, WrestleMania was in March. So yeah, around the last 6 months, it's either been Sheamus and Cesaro or the Hardys in the title picture, and it's getting kind of stale. They've already removed the Hardys from the title picture. Jeff Hardy is going to have shoulder surgery here in a little bit. We've seen Woken Matt, so we've seen the Hardys kind of get out of the tag title pictures and kind of go their own separate ways in singles competition, especially with Jeff Hardy winning the Intercontinental Championship #1 contendership and then going on to face The Miz, which Jeff Hardy should have won. Anyway, not bitter. I can definitely see the same thing happening with Cesaro and Sheamus. These guys are great singles competitors, and neither of them have really had the opportunity to shine singles-wise since, let's see, was it, when were they paired? SummerSlam last year, right after that, because that was the best of 7. So about a year. I can definitely see this being the end to their tag team, which would be great. Cesaro needs a main event push. God damn it. Um, so we both have Ambrose and Rollins. That's a given. It's kind of difficult, but it's kind of a given if that makes any sense. The Fatal 5-Way for the Raw Women's Championship. We're just blazing through this much faster than I thought we would. It sucks not having a second head to kind of bing off of. So that kind of sucks. Try hard, it's all your fault. Back here. I miss you. It's not the same without you. It's not the 10 Count podcast. Anyway, Fatal 5-Way for the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley was just introduced into the match. I feel like that's a strong indicator she's not going to win the match. Emma is not working at all. Sasha Banks, maybe. Nia Jax, I would love to see Nia Jax with the championship, but the same thing as WrestleMania. You'll see the entire group of ladies ganging up on her and getting the win that way. Nia Jax is kind of a big show in that respect. She's intimidating, she's strong, but the numbers game always gets her. You know, people are always smart enough to kind of group together and say, hey, we need to take this one down. And so she's probably going to be the first eliminated, which sucks. I would love to see Nia Jax hold the title. So we've both got Alexa Bliss, because it just makes sense. The goddess of WWE retains. John Cena versus Roman Reigns. This one's pretty obvious, and I think it's obvious for both of us. Cena's passing the torch, so to speak. Cena's been the face of WWE for 10 years, and now the WWE actually has a corporate guy they want to push to superstardom. Reigns is already retired. That's the word I was looking for. Reigns is already retired. The Undertaker. We talked about this a little bit last week. Roman Reigns. He's gonna go over for some reason because he's the big dog. Not much to talk about. And the main event: Lesnar v. Strowman for the Universal Championship. They're booking this match as a Battle of Goliaths. And just about 2 years ago, was it 2 years? 2 or 3 years ago, Strowman was a Rosebud, and he was one of the most obscure members of the Wyatt family. WWE seems to want you to forget about that fact. They don't even mention it anymore. But there have been strong rumors that Lesnar's going back to UFC, and I don't buy it. I really don't. Lesnar has a good deal. A good deal. He's wrestling like... And here's another kicker, is that this is going to be his last match of 2017. It's late September. There are 3 months left. The Universal Champion is not going to wrestle for the next 3 months. And that's another reason why people are thinking it's going to be Strowman, because Lesnar's taking time off. He's not coming back for a while. It would just make sense, booking-wise, for the main championship to be defended at every pay-per-view. But you have to think about one of the reasons why a lot of people like Lesnar is that he's a force that doesn't need to be around, and he's a big guy that doesn't come around until he's needed, so it makes it all the more intimidating. And that fact I get. I do. I don't see Lesnar leaving anytime soon. He's wrestling 6 matches a year. He's the most paid guy in WWE. And then in UFC, you're getting paid about the same amount of money to train and train and train and train and to literally fight. I don't think so. I don't think that's Lesnar's MO. I think Lesnar's MO is money, money, money. And isn't that everyone's, though? So I definitely see Lesnar going over, and I predict Lesnar has the title until Mania, where maybe Finn Balor will come back and say, I never lost this, and challenge for it at Mania. Let's see, Mania's, honestly, it's not even that far away. It's half a year, so that gives adequate time for maybe a Balor Lesnar build-up, maybe at the Royal Rumble. If, I don't know. I don't know how they'd build it, but they've got time for it. And that's kind of something that I want to see at Mania, is Balor and Lesnar, with Balor going over and then Lesnar just leaving. I've wanted for years Lesnar to just leave, and it hasn't happened yet, and it sucks. Anyway, I'm thinking Lesnar's going to win, and so does Tryhard. We both agree. So let's go back down the card. We've got 5 boths, which is 5, 5 points potential for both of us, and we have 3 differentials. We've got the Miz Jason Jordan match, the Balor versus Wyatt match, and the pre-show. And these matches are what's going to define who wins and who loses. So we're going to have a definite winner no matter what, with 3 potential things. It's an odd number, so you're going to come out with someone winning. And try hard, let me reassure you that those points are going to go to me. And I will be the reigning, defending 10 Count Podcast champion. And that, my friend, is very righteous. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. We will see you next week. And actually, I think we're going to make a No Mercy reactions video. Well, no, we're not, because he's not going to be here. Well, hell, I'll just make it. Screw it. I can run this channel on my own, because you know why? I'm Tommy frickin' Righteous, and I run this joint. Try hard, come back. You can blame it all on me. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.